So here's a story I wanted to share with you. A few years ago, um, I was looking YouTube videos on hell, the topic of hell. People sharing their testimonies and talking about the subject of how it was. And I prayed to God that He would show me this place. He would show me what it's about. So, surely enough, I went to sleep, and I was shown. I was brought there. I was shown. So I was outside of the entrance of hell, and I wasn't by myself. I was with someone else, wearing a white robe, pierced hands. In his hands, he had a key, uh, keys, a ring of keys, and his hands were uh, strong hands, a carpenter's hands. You could see. I couldn't see his face. I could only see from um, the neck down. But I was holding his hand because I was very afraid. There I was outside of the gates of hell, and there were very big gates, metallic gates. And surrounding the gate was rock. It was a red sky, and it was dark. It was a dark red sky, red rock, and on the gates, the big two very large big gates. On each gate were pentagrams on it, and there was on the surface and on the gate there was a face, a demonic face with horns, red. He was red, and and there was a it was an energetic face. It was energetic, and in the horns, in between the horns, there was like some kind of red electric current going from one horn to the next, like it was electric. And above the gates, it was written, "All ye who enters here, abandon all hope." That's what was written, and I was scared. I was very scared, and I was holding on tightly to Jesus's hand. I was holding on tightly because it's very frightening. And as I was stepping closer, I didn't want to go any closer. I didn't want, like, I felt the fear of being dragged inside as I stepped closer. So I went through the gate. Now I went through the gate, and once inside, I was inside the entrance of hell, and I was so amazed. I was so amazed of the vastness of this place. It was very vast, and I had a knowing. I had a knowing that it went much, much deeper. It was very much, very large, very large, very large, incomprehensibly large. And I got distracted uh, by how in awe I was, and I noticed that I was alone, and the gates started closing on me. And now I was inside alone in a huge ring. I was in a. It was an as large as it was enclosed, and out the outside of the enclosure was like a auditory, like where audience could look, and this audience was God's people, angels, and Jesus and God Himself to see, to view, to witness the torment that was happening in there. And I was alone inside the closed gates, and I had this knowledge, I had this knowing that there was no hope, there was no hope, and that it was forever. When those gates closed shut, it was forever. It was for eternity. and I was struck with fear. And the only thing I could do was cry out to Jesus, to cry out to Jesus. So in my dream, I looked up and I cried, Jesus, Jesus, and surely enough, a hand with white robes went down from the sky and pulled me out of the pit, the depths. And I woke up in my bed. And when I woke up, I was shocked. I was very shocked. I was in awe. I was shocked. I was shook for 2 days. For 2 days, I was shook. I was that dream. And I'm sharing this message because uh, that to say that you don't you don't want to die unforgiven in this world. You don't want to die unforgiven. You don't want the wrath of God poured on you once you pass, and to forgive others as well. It's important to forgive others just as He has forgiven you. And I believe this is an important message now more than ever because this is the new age, the end of the age, and the net is closing in on us. The net is closing in on us, and we need to get ready to face our judgment. And,